What's good, everybody? It's your boy Everton, and Mint Mobile was about to drop this really crazy promotion plan, and I think a lot of people are going to be interested in it. In fact, I actually have the link to it in the description. It's for 3 months. You pay for 3 months. If you want to switch to Mint Mobile, you get an additional 3 months for free. So you're basically getting 6 months for the price of 3 months, which is dope. Once again, check it out. I got all the details in the description if you want to check it out. But anyway, before you guys actually make that switch, because I know that this is holiday time, and a lot of people are looking to save money and try new things out. I just finished my 1 month with my first month with Mint Mobile, and I wanted to tell you guys some of my experience with that. I've actually been in contact with Mint Mobile on Twitter and on other platforms to kind of figure out like, hey, where are the barriers of this service, right? Like, it's not as simple as, hey, I was paying this amount and I switched the company. It's the exact same service, just for less money. That's not how business works, unfortunately. And so yeah, there are some differences, and I want to talk about that before you guys actually make the commitment as well to switch to Mint Mobile. Because the truth is that some people don't like Mint Mobile. I made another video about Mint Mobile, and some people are like, yo, I don't like that company. It's true, it happens, right? And Mint Mobile's not going to tell you like, yeah, some of our customers don't like us. I do think that they have a pretty good offering, but it's not for everybody. I've told some family members about it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not for me." And their reasons were pretty valid, like why it wasn't for them, or why their situation was so strong toward them. But if you are interested, I'm assuming that you're watching this video, and I'm going to talk about some of the barriers and some of the limitations that they have. So what is Mint Mobile? Well, Mint Mobile is a mobile virtual network operator, which means that they rent space off of T-Mobile's towers, which is a company that I left to join Mint Mobile. And basically, when they rent space out of there, they rent it at a less than top tier. It's a middle tier speed for data speeds, and they offer unlimited talk and text. And then that's how they provide service to their client base. How do they actually save money, right? That was the biggest thing in my opinion, right? I'm like, I kind of get some of the reasons why, but I'm not understanding like why they're so cheap, because they are relatively cheaper than other carriers that offer similar service like speeds and data capacity. So it's not that they're the cheapest in the business, but they're relatively cheaper than people who offer similar products. So I'm going to talk about those three things right now. So the first way is, well, they actually have no stores, right? They operate and give their services through like the internet and things like that. And they have this virtual space where you can call them online, but basically they have no brick and mortar stores, which saves them money in a few ways. Number one, they don't have to pay for retail spaces or leases. They don't have to pay for utilities and for those spaces, and they don't have to pay for salaries for employees to be employed there and operate there. Managers, sales associates, customer service associates at those retail locations, right? Like they have cut that out, which I think is a smart move. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't need to. I haven't been to a T-Mobile store when I was with T-Mobile in like years, right? I did everything online. The second thing is that they have the bulk payment option. So you can, when you buy their services, you buy it for 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. The longer you sign up for it, the cheaper the overall cost on average monthly goes. So even though you don't pay it monthly, it's scaled or priced monthly, but you just pay it in bulk. The reason why they're able to save money from that is because they're probably able to go to T-Mobile and say, hey, we want to rent another slot on your spectrum, but we can pay 3 months. We can pay for 3 months or 6 months or 12 months, and that probably affords them a cheaper lease rate, I would say, on T-Mobile's spectrum, which is smart, right? They can pass those savings on to their client base. Their client base can grow because their deals are so attractive, right? And the third thing is that they leverage the internet, right? So their app is pretty streamlined. It's pretty simple. They don't do too much with the app. They give you the basics of what they need, but they're basically, they've leveraged the internet a lot. I've actually spoken to them on Twitter. They're very responsive, and they actually told me about their Reddit page, which has a bunch of resources. And these are low cost or free things that they can leverage to provide service to their clients. So it's pretty smart. They're able to save money in a lot of ways, and pass those savings on to their client base, right? So let's talk about what it's been like for 1 month since I've been on their network. So let's get the elephant out of the room, right? Because for the most part, I have been happy. But the elephant in the room, which I used to read articles about Mint Mobile's reviews. I see this all the time, and it is a true thing. Deprioritization. Now, deprioritization, what the hell is that? So deprioritization basically means that since Mint Mobile rents space on their T-Mobile's towers, T-Mobile's postpaid clients are going to be at the top tier, right? Mint Mobile, along with any other mobile virtual network operator that signs up for their towers, is going to operate somewhere in here. Not at the bottom, but somewhere around here, not at the very top, but decent to good speeds. Now what happens is this. T-Mobile's customers, they operate all throughout the spectrum, right? But mostly up here. If for some reason T-Mobile's network gets congested and there's a lot of traffic, what's going to happen is they're going to push you guys down. All right, Mint Mobile, they're going to go down here. Maybe not at the bottom, but you guys are definitely going to be down when the network's congested so that their carriers, T-Mobile's carriers, can be prioritized. So you get deprioritized, right? Makes sense, right? Not a hard concept to follow. And a lot of people are like, well, okay, that's a big deal, but T-Mobile's spectrum is pretty big. They're super fast, and while that is true, I have experienced deprioritization. Well, the deprioritization, is it so bad that it actually would turn me off from using the service? And the answer is, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm just going to give you, you guys got to make that decision for yourself. For me, I'm going to tell you how I experienced it. So I was driving around one day, me and my daughter went to a park. She was playing, and I was watching ESPN on YouTube, and then it started to buffer, right? I was watching it, then the video started to buffer. I had never experienced that before. It only buffered for like 5 seconds, but I was like, yo, what the heck? So I figured I was in a pretty bad area, right, for signal at least, right? So I'm like, okay, that happens, though. That's more common than it is to like me to experience deprioritization. So I wasn't sure. I thought it was deprioritization, but it could have been a bad area. So what I did was I wake up at 4:45 every morning, and I'm usually out the house around like 5:15 to go run an errand or whatever, everything I need to do in the morning time. So I went back to that area, and I ran a speed test. Speed test pulled on like, I think it was like 120 down. That was at 5:15 in the morning. I went back, and then it was pulling down at around 5:30 p.m., around 25 Mbps down, which is like 80% slower, right? Still fast enough to view videos, still fast enough to download everything that you needed. But for some reason, I definitely saw a drastic difference between 5:15 a.m., where probably people are still sleeping. The network's probably not being utilized in that area very minimally. And 5:15, where it's like everybody's probably home now, people are probably on the phone, people are using whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a much more congested area, or its time frame. So I did experience that. And I actually experienced it a couple of times. Now once again, you can I think the biggest difference here is that they're not this isn't something new. Yes, you're gonna get deprioritized. But the biggest thing was like, if you're gonna download like a big app and it takes you maybe like on T-Mobile's network a minute to download, then it may take you like, I'm not gonna lie, about 2.5 minutes to download. Because once again, the speeds are just that drastic. You won't be sitting there like, oh my God, I don't have any service. But I have noticed a difference in speed. Coverage was actually pretty great. It mimicked T-Mobile's, as far as like where I was able to get service, it mimicked T-Mobile's identically, right? Like, so yeah, and T-Mobile has a pretty robust network, but that is one thing that you guys want to think about. So the next big thing is to understand that you guys are paying for bulk services, right? So I tell anybody, if you're going to sign up for Mint Mobile, sign up for the 3-month plan if it's your first time going into that service. Now there are 3 reasons why you want to sign up for, a couple reasons why you want to sign up for the 3-month plan. Number one, you get to test the network out at the shortest time period, and it's also the same price as their best discount, right? It's the same price if you were able to sign up for 12 months. They give you that introductory price, like, hey, this is what you could buy for 3. We're going to let you test it out for 3 months, and if you want to re-up, you get the best rate at 3 months that you would have if you signed up for a 12-month plan. And I think that's a pretty interesting and pretty attractive deal. So I would actually sign up for that. But here's the thing. Here's what you guys need to understand is that once you buy bulk, you're purchasing bulk. So if you go to Costco and buy bulk toilet paper, right, it's supposed to last you for a year. You start using the toilet paper, you're like, you know what, I don't need this much toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? You can't, after 2 months, you can't take it back. For service, it's a little bit more pertinent, right? If you decide if you say, hey, I like Mint Mobile, it's dope, and you buy a 12-month plan, you're 2 months in, you're like, I don't like this plan anymore. I'm good. I don't want to hear. You can't take it back. Like, you can't take it back. You bought 12 months worth of service. Now, Granted, you won't lose that service, right? You still have it. You just have to, work with it. But if you did say, hey, this is intolerable, I can't deal with this, you have to buy another service and have this line somewhere else. I mean, maybe you can sell it to a friend or a family member that wants at a super cheap rate or something like that. You can say, hey, you can have this free 10 months worth of service. But I mean, that is something to think about. But it goes a little bit further than that, right? So there's two other things that occur. Number one, you can't change your phone number with the service. So if you're moving from like Florida to California, you're moving across the state, across the country, you're like, yo, for some reason I need a local number. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to have that. I mean, you can change your number by actually getting new service, right? So if you want to stick with Mint Mobile, you're like, yo, I like these prices. You can't change your phone number. You're gonna have to buy another service and keep that line again as a second line. You won't be able to change your service and keep the service that you already paid for. The second thing that it affects you is like the referral program. So the referral program is pretty robust with Mint Mobile. Like if you refer 5 people, you get $240 worth of credit, which is equivalent to a year's worth of service at the 8 gigabyte data plan. And you can actually even refer up to 10 people, and they'll give you just a credit, about $480 to whatever renewal plan that you want. But if you decide that, you know what, man, I need to change my phone number, but I want to use my referral credits to go to that other phone number, once again, you won't be able to take those referral credits with you because those is specific to that line. So it kind of forces you to keep that line to be able to keep those credits. Granted, I mean, what you guys want to think about in that scenario is like, yo, have I ever had to change my number within the last few years? If you haven't, I wouldn't worry about it at all, right? Me, I've had the same number for like 10 years. I don't foresee myself having to change my phone number, especially in today's world. I mean, everybody lives everywhere. It is what it is. So the next things I'm going to get into are a little bit petty. And the reason why I did this is because, obviously, this service is, it's not the most robust in the world. It gives you a lot of the core stuff that you need, but I can't change my phone number, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I hate when have you ever seen somebody whose car is maybe broken down or something like that, and they're taking the bus everywhere, and then maybe they need $1,000 repair, but then they start to buy little stuff like, oh, I gotta buy these new shoes. So I'm like, dude, you could be putting that money towards something important like your car, fixing your car, right? Well, that's how I feel about Mint Mobile sometimes. So I know that this is gonna be kind of petty, but they released an app update for the app, and all it did was introduce new animations for the Fox, and I was like, yo, is this where you guys want to spend your money at? You guys are paying your developers to do stuff to add animations. It's fun, yes, to add more animations, but can you spend the money on giving us real real value? So that was one of my critiques. Now, once again, we're in the petty section of this video. Was that I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple times where they were doing an upgrade to the service, and I couldn't log in, and it was a little bit annoying. It happened only about 3 times. Now, here's the reason why but you gotta understand something. You probably won't notice it because you're not logging in that much, probably. But for me, I'm on the 8 gigabyte data plan, so I was looking at my data with the Hawkeye, right? I was looking at it with the Hawkeye to make sure that making sure I need to keep track of where I'm using the data, blah, 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 making sure that I have the appropriate allotment left, because I'm used to using 20 gigabytes a month. Me scaling down to 8, even though I can do it because I'm mostly working from home now, it was something that I had to I kept an eagle eye on, even though I was okay. But the reason why I started to notice, I was like, damn, the app and the login, it goes down a lot. And I wouldn't even say a lot. It went down 4 times. I'm not gonna lie. But to me, I never experienced that with T-Mobile. It always said oh, we're upgrading something or something like that. I was like, really? Are you though? Are you? And can't you do that at 2 a.m. in the morning when nobody's really using your stuff? But that's about it. Other than that, guys, really, realistically, those are my only complaints. I think that they do a lot of great stuff. If I'm going to sign up, and once again, if you guys want to sign up, the link is in the description. But before you guys do that, 2 things I would suggest you guys do. Number 1, use the address locator and actually type in a couple addresses of people or frequent places where you're going to be. if you have to travel for work, meaning like you have to go into an office, make sure you type in your office address as well with your network checker to see how the signal is. Also, one good thing is that they do have Wi-Fi calling and Wi-Fi texting. You can enable that in the settings when you log into your set up your online profile. And basically, it's like voice over IP or your voice over your internet service. So, I mean, you'll get service just from being on your Wi-Fi, which I think is great because it eliminates the issue of like not having service in your home. So I think that's a super dope enhancement that they have. Overall, guys, for me personally, I love the service. If none of these are deal breakers for you, like the things that I mentioned, that's a good thing, right? Don't get mad at the video because you're like, oh man, all the stuff you talked about was whack, blah, blah, blah. Dude, listen, if these issues are not a deal breaker for you, you should be happy. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the service. Do I notice a difference? Of course I do. I mean, it's definitely not you're not paying $30 a month for something you're paying for $100 a month for if you're coming from a bigger tier or a bigger carrier. There are some compromises, like I said. Like this service would not be good for my dad because he's not very technological like savvy. So, and he doesn't have me around. He lives in Florida. I live in Texas. You know, I can't fix his phone for him, so he's gonna go into a service, and who wants to go to a store anytime that his phone goes bad or something happens with his phone. This won't be great for him. But for me, I mean, I use YouTube, Reddit, Twitter all the time. I'm always engaging. I don't know. I think those things are, it works out for me, but it won't work out for everybody. But in fact, I'm gonna get my daughter online because she uses it to play games and stuff like that, right? But anyway, guys, I mean, that's it. I just wanted to make this quick video to kind of go over, what Mint Mobile's been like for me. I personally have enjoyed it. I've actually paid for my renewal already, so I'm definitely all in. I've had a great time. Let me know your guys' experience in the comments, and until next time, I'll catch up with you. Either way, guys, I'm Everton, and I do videos Everton's way. Peace.